Hello, welcome to Puffs and Poetry. I'm your host Jessica, a writer, cannabis aficionado, and poetry lover. Today we are reading from Amanda Gorman's book of poetry, Call Us What We Carry. But before we get into that, let me roll up and I'll tell you a little bit about where I am and what I'm smoking. This paper's all bent. Always a challenge to start with a paper that's already bent, but waste not, want not. I am in northern Florida right now, in one of the few truly wild areas left. I have been in Florida in the van for a couple weeks now, and while I still have not seen an alligator, which is very sad to me, I have seen some other fun animals. Yesterday, we got a visit from a rattlesnake at the van, which was entertaining. He was a little guy, but he was very brave. He did not want to leave. We had to make him leave so that it would be safe for my dog, Diamond, to come out and go to the bathroom because she's curious and she does not understand what a venomous snake is. I am smoking a I'm smoking a type 1 joint today, which is a THC dominant joint. However, I am also adding some herbs to this joint. It is still a type 1 joint because there are no other cannabinoids in there. A type 2 joint, as I usually enjoy smoking, involves CBD, and I'm currently out of CBD flower, which is very sad. But we can still mix some herbs in for additional flavor and additional terpenes. I don't have too much information about this cannabis strain because it came to me from the illicit markets. And as many people who participate in the illicit market know, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. So I spent many months in the van in the northeast section of the United States, where most states have legal recreational cannabis. But as I've gone further and further into the south, cannabis programs are fewer and farther between. And even the states like Florida that have a strong medical program do not have any recreational access. There we go. So this is a type 1 flower, which means that it is dominant in THC. This is a little bit of an older flower, and I can tell that because it doesn't smell too strongly. This is a little joint packing trick that I use when I don't have a poker. My glasses work just fine. It's a little bit older. It doesn't have too much of a scent to it besides weed, whereas, fresh, well-aged, well-cured flower has kind of a bouquet of scents to it. Not kind of, it does have a bouquet of scents. And I can tell it's older because the color is dark. It doesn't have those glistening trichomes. It's not a vibrant green with, interspersed of colors from the trichomes. It's a darker color, which means that it was probably cured and or aged poorly. However, when you're in an area like this, you get what you get. If you are buying from the illicit market, please buy from somebody that you know. Please buy from somebody that you trust. There's some bad shit going around, and while it is not common for people to cut cannabis with fentanyl because it is extremely expensive to do so, you never know. Better safe than sorry. So while I'm out of CBD flower and I can't make a type 2 joint, which I typically enjoy, I do still have some herbs at my disposal, which I can add to my bowl packs and my joints in order to give it a little bit more flavor. It's a chilly day in Florida today. Last night it got down to about 40 degrees, which is quite cool for Florida, even in January. And Today it's only getting up to about 60, and while I am a New Yorker, it is crazy how fast you get acclimated to the warmer weather and how cool 40 degrees can feel again. Beautiful. So now let's talk about what I'm reading today. I am reading From Call Us What We Carry, a book of poetry from American poet Amanda Gorman, published in 2021. Amanda Gorman is perhaps best known for being the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history, which means she is the youngest person to read a piece of poetry at a U.S. president's inauguration. She read a poem for President Joe Biden back in 2020 when he took office. That poem is in this book. I'm not going to be reading it today, but I will be pulling from this book again, so we'll get there. Amanda Gorman often focuses on the marginalized, the oppressed, social justice, social activity, environmental justice. And published in 2021, this book focuses a lot on the immediate impact, the immediate cultural fallout of the 2020 pandemic. Of course, it is 2024 as I'm recording this, and we're still not over it. COVID is not done. But that's not what this video is about. I didn't roll this especially well, so it's not smoking especially well, but what are you gonna do? When you roll a half-assed joint, you have two options. Smoke it as is, or do it again. And I just chose to smoke it as is. This book was gifted to me by my husband on our first wedding anniversary. The traditional first wedding anniversary gift is paper, so we exchanged books. Our first poem today is called The Shallows. Touch deficient and light-starved we were, like an inverted flame eating any warmth down to its studs. The deepest despair is ravenous. It takes and takes and takes. A stomach is never satisfied. This is not hyperbole. All that is gorgeous and good and decent is no luxury, not when its void brings us to the wide wharf of war. Even as we stand stone still, it's with the entirety of what we lost, sweeping through us like a ghost. What we have lived remains indecipherable, and yet we remain, and still we write, and so we write. Watch us move above the fog like a promontory at dusk. Shall this leave us bitter or better? Grieve, then decide. This poem is called And So. It is easy to harp, harder to hope. The truth, like the white-blown sky, can only be felt in its entirety or not at all. The glorious was not made to be piecemeal. Despite being drenched with dread, this dark girl still dreams. We smile like a sun that is never shunted. Grief, when it goes, does so softly, like the exit of that breath we just realized we clutched. Since the world is round, there is no way to walk away from each other. For even then, we are coming back together. Some distances, if allowed to grow, are merely the greatest proximities. We'll relight that in a moment. This poem is called Call Us. Grant us this day, bruising the make of us. At times, over half our bodies are not our own. Our persons made vessel for non-human cells. To them we are a boat of a being, essential, a country, a continent, a planet, a human. Microbe is all the writhing forms on and inside this body, drafted under our life. We are not me, we are we. Call us what we carry. This poem is a little bit longer and a little more fiery, so let me take a quick sip of water to do it justice. This poem is called Alarum. We are writing as the daughters of a dying world, as its new-faced alert. In math, the slash, also called the Salidas, means division, divided by. We were divided from each other, person to person. Some griefs, like rivers, are uncrossable. They are not meant to be waded across, but walked beside. Our loss, colossal in blossom, is never lost on us. Love the earth like we failed it. To put it plain, we have shipwrecked the earth, soiled the soil, and run the ground aground. Listen, we are the loud toll on this planet. Our future needs us alarmed. Man is a myth in the making. What is now dust will not return, not the beloveds, nor their breath, nor the sugar-crumbling glaciers, nor the crows chewing on their own soured songs, nor all the species slashed down in one smogged swoop. Extinction is a chorus of quiet punching that same note. What can never be brought back can still be brought forth, in memory, in mouth, in mind. To say it plain is to tell only half the story. There is a flock of tiny birds around here. I don't know what kind they are. They're challenging to see in the trees, but I hear them and I see their movements. You could fit 2 of them in the palm of my hand, and they are so cute. There are also here some birds that stand about 4.5 feet tall. So they are quite large. You get all ends of the spectrum in Florida. You get the tiny, you get the large, you get the terrifying, you get the incredible. Yesterday on my walk, I watched a turtle laying eggs, and what a little treat that was. It would be a little treat if this joint did not keep going out, but that is my own fault. Our next poem is called Earth Eyes. What have we done? Currently, our jaw is clamped down, our shoulders nailed to the ears, bones braced for brutal battle. By think of the next generation, we mean every day this very ground spoils beneath us, for we are bringing to all ends of the earth the end of all the earth. Please believe us when we say we too ache to imagine something new. Reparation lies not in the land we own, but in the very land we owe. The soil and toil we thieved in from the start. Nothing is grander symmetry than this. Water, drinkable. Our air, breathable. Birds built and blurred on a breeze, trees heaving huge sighs into the heavens, our children giggling and gilded in the grass. Ernest, for the first time, we must earn this turned earth back. Now we are begged to save it. We screech with kids who must fix the world because braving it is no longer enough. The youth will save us, they say, but even that is its own release. Our short lives now aimed at the oily-headed monsters that reared their teeth before we even gave our first wet croak. Generations of past order, be our recruits, not our rescues. Oh, how we want our parents, red and restless, as wild and dying for a difference as we are. Arborescent II. Like trees, we're always scoping out heat. Not with our eyes, but with the blur of our bodies, the celestial stitched inside us. Slant upward, for there are ways to sit and let joy find this injury, even as we let loss wash around our head like a low sound. We grasp at the very best of each other and begin. Our last poem today is called Pan. Pandemic, meaning all people. Pandemonium, meaning all demon. Pandora, meaning all gifted. Pan, meaning God of nature. All people have meaning, are all demon, all gifted. It is in our divine nature. We now appreciate that Pandora's box was a jar left ajar, a pithos. To tell the mistranslation, then, is to risk being remembered by its fiction. Meaning a storage container for grain, oil, wheat, and even the dead. We all need places to lay down our grief. Where else to put it? That vessel held all plague, all pain, and all hope. Don't panic. Instead, turn to a companion. What are we if not the curiosity to open the coffins we carry? Who are we if not all the things we let loose? For the last time, we light it again. There's like one puff left, but oh well. I ashed directly on my white sneaker. Rude. Well, this was not the joint I wanted to roll today, but this is the joint that I rolled today. So be it. Those are all the poems that I have for you today. Thank you for sharing some time with me and with Amanda Gorman. Until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a wonderful day.